Let's go. She done came through the fire, didn't break, got stronger. Young mama, real fighter, had to hold on longer. Life tried to weigh her down, she still stood tall. Now she leveling up and she shocking them all. Mind on growth and her body on change. New discipline, new goals, she ain't playing no game. From the pain to purpose, now she moving sweet. And she making waves in these GLP-1 streets. Look at her now, yeah, she glowing for real. Turned all the pressure into power and will. Ain't just surviving, now she claiming her peace. And she making waves in these GLP-1 streets. Oh, Evelyn, you're beautiful, more than what the mirror shows. You've been healing, you've been growing, now the whole world really knows. Oh, Evelyn, you're beautiful, strong in mind and powerful. Got that fire, got that drive, and the sky's the limit now. This that lifestyle, this that focus, this that put in work vibe. Power moves, weight loss journey, watch her come alive. Echo V journey, living heavy, building more than a frame. She transforming from the inside, never staying the same. Book the podcast, living proof when she speaks that truth. Hoping healing in a message every time she hit the booth. She inspiring with a story every time she hit the beat. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 Street. Beautiful lion color, that's the heart of the mission. Giving hope to the broken, helping people see vision. If you've been through the storm, she got something to teach. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 Street. Oh, Evelyn, you're beautiful, more than what the mirror shows. You've been healing, you've been growing, now the whole world really knows. Oh, yeah. Evelyn, you're beautiful, strong in mind and powerful. Got that fire, got that drive, and the sky's the limit now. Oh. And the sky's the limit now. She worked hard, stayed down, now she rising with peace. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 streets. From her mind to her body, now her light runs deep. And she making waves in DEEZ, making waves in DEEZ.
Y'all ready to roll? It's time for the remix. It's time to see that dude parlay Amadeus lane in DEEZ GLP-1 streets. Known by many as Paul on wheels. We making it do what it does. Letting people know how I feel. Let's roll.
Yeah, we talking health, talking grind, breaking barriers clean. No excuses on the journey, we stay chasing the dream. Get your mind locked in, set your goals on repeat. We got ups, we got downs, but we still don't miss a beat. In GLP-1 streets, we moving with pride. Hear the trends, hear the wins. Got creators worldwide, we make it do what it does. Never stopping to climb, living better every day, one step at a time. Shout out RMZ, always keeping it real. It's Dairy on with the fire, got that GLP-1 feel. Diddy the downsizing diva, simply Taisha in the zone. Losing it grades, bring the truth, steady holding her own. Calamity Jane slide through, yeah, she bringing the flame. Perfectly Pamela moving strong, everybody know her name. Pammy in the mix too, yeah, we shout her out the same. Teddy D and Toby rolling steady on the rise. G's one running balls, baby, locked in on that lifestyle prize. Traces of Twan, stay consistent every day. Cookie cheering everybody on in a special way. Maya Mindy holding it down from the start. Purple bell flowers slid into them jeans, stayed apart. Melt of the beat, keeping the conscience tight. Bar pelt at any cost, queen of the streets. That's right, yeah. Chris conquering the scale, yeah, he taking control. Life is shy, glowing steady, body and soul. Reset with honey sub, keeping focus aligned. Grant on his GLP-1 journey review, dropping knowledge every time. Paula doing the thing, staying strong, staying locked in, pushing right along. Just do it, Brit. You got it, smart. Don't quit. It gets better bit by bit. Ain't me losing it steady, keeping a stride. Bound to me in the mix with that purpose and pride. Jen supporting the crew, showing love front row. Carnival muscle bringing discipline to the flow. Keely Eddie from across the sea. Alonda pushing through, never quitting the seat. My man G with my rolling life on track. Sweet tea singing while she dropping that slack. Vanity keeping everybody on their toes. Welcome TT to the club, that's how it goes. This toilet review, teaching in the classroom and the streets. Me are doing a thing with that grind on repeat. From the south, Kimmy J, down Renee 1C. Lakeisha on the journey, chasing victory. Roses are Shawnee, steady making play. And Jen in the comments, dropping knowledge every day. And if I missed anybody, just know I love y'all. We'll put you in a remix one day. We'll put you in a remix one day. Yeah. Harjardine, Felicia Murray B, and Joe's cross the sea. Yeah, this GLP-1 movement hits globally. We stay focused on the prize, on the light that we see. Welcome to DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ.
Hello and welcome. How's everybody doing? DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ. I am your hostess with the mostest, Paul Amadeus Lane. You can call me Paul on wheels. See my little silhouette of me in my wheelchair? That's pretty cool, ain't it? Yeah, I thought I'd give it a little flair. But thank y'all for being in this edition of the show. We got an amazing person that's going to join us, Evelyn. Beautiful. I am colored. And if you missed the beginning, Evelyn was not in the original song that I had. So I actually made a track for Evelyn herself. So it's called Evelyn, You're Beautiful. Check it out if you're watching the replay. And let me know what you think. How's everybody doing on this Monday? Hope you guys are doing fine. All of us in these GLP-1 streets. Hopefully this week, everything's going good. We're getting that protein in. We're hydrating. We're working out. We're doing all those great things out there because this week we got this. We are going to make this week successful. We're going to make this week just better than any other week. So that's what we want to try to do. We want to stack all these wins every week so that we can build up these amazing habits. And habits are something that we are all trying to change. I know, like for me, been obese 3 decades, I want to say, a little over 3 decades. And I tell you, this disease of obesity, it's no joke. But I'm so glad that I've been able to get on the GLP-1. And for some of you who may be tuning in the first time to these GLP-1 streets, may not know who I am. Again, my name is Paul Amadeus Lane. Call me Paul on Wheels. I started this journey at 348 pounds, but at my biggest weight, I was almost 400 pounds since the pandemic. Now I am maybe in my 260s now. I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to drop an update this week. And if I get into the 260s, that means I am over 80 pounds down. So y'all have to wait and see the video that I'm going to drop this week to see if I'm finally 80 pounds down into my first goal of losing 100 pounds. That's my first goal. But my secondary goal is to get into Wonderland. I want to be 199. Yeah, I want to get that sunken in face. But I want that fine sucking in face. That's what I want to do. But 199, that is what I am pulling for. But thank you all for being a part of the show. Saying hello to everyone in the chat. RMZ is in the house. The GOAT. Love that man. That's my brother right there. Cookie J is in the house. Vanessa's in the house. Felicia Marie B is in the house. Jen is in the house. Dr. Jen. Jen, we love you so much. Jen is doing her thing. Mary Mindy is in the house as well, too. Mia is in the house. See who else steps into the house. But I'm so delighted to welcome my guest on Saturday. She had an amazing live. And she kind of teased it about what she's going to talk about. But I'm telling you, the teasing it did it no justice. You had to be there to watch it because the discussion she had is something that we all have to have in this community, as well as her amazing journey. She about to do some professional, weightlifting stuff going on. So we're going to catch her up with that. And one thing you're going to find out if you're new to these GLP-1 streets, and I mean this with all sincerity, not all pen folks is your kinfolk. Let me say that again. Not all pen folks are your kinfolk. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Because, but instead of me being messy, welcome on the beautiful Evelyn. Evelyn, what's going on, my dear? How are you?
Hey, everybody. It's so good to see you. Paul, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me and having me on. And second, first, I love me some music, okay? Love. And so I was definitely not expecting to have a song that was singled out. So thank you so much. That was so generous of you to take the time out and make a song. So thank you so much for doing that. And again, thank you
You
for
are
having
more
me on. Everybody in the chat that said hello, I saw you, but I'm so nervous that if I start, that I reach up and type responses back, that my computer will freeze or something. So I said I'm gonna be as still as I possibly can, so I don't mess
not
up anything. But it's a pleasure to be here.
Evelyn. I remember when you and I first met each other. I think it might have been in DD's live, and we started following each other, and then we started watching each other's content. And one thing I really appreciated about you was your realness. I mean, you were funny, you were engaging. I remember one time there was a video, you were like doing your little dance. I was like, she's like one of my people. You know what I mean? Who have a lot of fun and just enjoying life. And you are a breath of fresh air in this community. There's no monopoly on this community from any influencer, any creator. All of us make this amazing community because all of us have these amazing stories. And Evelyn, I was so upset because when I did my remix song at the end, I was like, I forgot to put Evelyn in it. But then when I found out that you and I were going to be speaking, I said Evelyn is going to have her own song because you're just
Oh,
amazing, and that is that's a gift to you for being so amazing. I apologize for not getting you into that remix song, but there is going to be a third iteration of that song, probably around summertime, and you will be in that one. So I just want to let you know that. But I wanted to make sure to let you know that we appreciate you in these streets. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So Evelyn, who has one of the amazing smiles in
oh,
this,
thank you, thank you.
who have one of the amazing smiles in this space. Evelyn, tell me, for some who may not know your story, who's not following your channel, what made you start down this GLP-1 road, that made you, you know, use this as a tool to help you out? And if you don't mind sharing that with us, please.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, I would like to say that like working out like has never been a challenge for me at all. Um, I even at my highest weight, which was around 204, 205 pounds for me, and I'm 5'4". I was still in the gym. I was outside. But what happened in my case is whereas in my 20s and my 30s, I could kind of, if I went up those 20 or 30 pounds, I could typically kind of come back off of them. Not necessarily quick, but I could get it off. But after 45, that it's a lot harder than people would think. If you're not 45 or 50 yet, it's a lot harder than people think to take the weight off because of hormonal changes mixed with maybe not the best, what I'm saying, eating habits and stuff. And so for me, I kept trying and trying and trying to get the 20 some odd pounds that I had gained during 2020. And I just could not get it off. And so it was in my annual checkup with my primary care doctor, where of course you're going over all of your stats. Um, my cholesterol was slightly elevated, not necessarily in the red zone. It was in the yellow zone on my lab core report. And then, like I said, I was 204 and 205. And so I had seen um, at that time, it was beginning of 2024 when I first started to see GLP-1s pop up. Um, and so I was curious, to be honest with you, anything that can kind of help me stabilize my weight and get them first 20 anyways off. But the price was like 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, $1,500, something that at the time definitely wasn't in my budget. And so at that doctor's appointment, when my weight came up, she asked me, was I interested in um, any of the newer weight loss medications that had come out. And I said, actually, I am, but I don't think I can afford it. And she said, well, we have the compound version. And so she kind of talked me through semaglutide, semaglutide, however you pronounce it, kind of like the benefits of it, and explained that it was the same medication as in the brand name, and that would be a way to kind of offset costs. And so I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. Because at that point, I had been working my tail off in the summer. Like I'm talking about, I was doing 3, 4, 5 miles, walking and jogging, sweating like I don't know what. But the scale was just not moving. And so, anyways, she introduced that to me, and I said, "Yeah, sign me up." Honestly, not thinking that it was going to even help me like that. To be honest with you, I didn't even think, it was real. In other words, I didn't think that the results were real. So I was like, you know what? A month or two, let me try it. She wrote me the script, and that's all she wrote. And so I've been on a GLP-1, specifically now I'm on brand Wegovy, but started off with the compounded version since August of 2024. And it has absolutely changed my life. Well, that with hormone replacement therapy.
Wow, that's pretty cool hearing your origin story and what got you on these GLP-1s. Were you like me when you kind of first had to give your first shot? You're like, okay, what am I doing if this is going to hurt me? Before you answer that, let me say hello to a few people out there. Miss Toy, the review, how are you? Z, thank you so much for listening at work. Jerlene is in the house. Thank you, Jerlene. And Miss Toy, this is
Hey,
like an interview
Joy.
proposal.
Hey,
I did
Joy.
this last night. Miss Toy. So will you be on my show too, Miss Toy? That's an interview proposal I did right there. So, but yeah, thank you all, thank you all. So were you like me, Evelyn? You started Googleizing stuff and wondering what you're about to put in your body, the side effects and everything. Because I was like, I was going to do it regardless, but I was just like, okay, let me see what I'm putting in my body. What's going to happen? So before you get your first injection, what were some of the things going through your mind?
Am I gonna put this in my body and I pass out? Am I gonna, because at the time, this is kind of low key important. I hadn't told Marlon that I was finna start this medication. I just made a decision between me and my doctor. And honestly, not because we are secret keepers in our marriage, but because I didn't really want to hear all of the commentary. My husband is a big talker, and I already knew he was gonna quiz me down with a whole bunch of questions. And so I kept it a secret for like mm, I think 10 to 12 weeks almost, watching different content creators and stuff. And I would say that, about your stomach area basically locking up, and then people ending up in the emergency room and stuff. So of course I had those fears. Your doctor's office. And so injection was terrified because I had never injected myself with anything. And I had the syringe injection because I was on the compounded version. And so the oh my God. I remember cap and cleaning the top of the vial, and I had watched the to do video. I had to be in stuff because I wasn't quite sure of what the pain level was gonna be. And so I remember squeezing my belly because I wanted to make sure I injected into all fat, which at that time was no problem. But so I squeezed my belly like a hamburger patty, and I remember like doing this counting down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. before I inject it, and then I would get scared and I'd be like, "Oh no!" Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then however many times I had to do that because I was in the bathroom a good 20 minutes. Then I finally like injected it into my belly, and I didn't even feel anything because the syringe needles are super super tiny. And so yeah, so I didn't even feel anything. And so I was like, girl, you did all that sweat, all of that. And it really wasn't bad. So after I did it the first time, of course, each subsequent time thereafter was a lot easier.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. And no doubt, when you got on this journey, you realize some of the ones who are having some of these issues with all the stuff happening, may have been kind of self-inflicted, especially when you start getting into the nuances of how these shots work and what the manufacturers say do. But in the words of Judge Judy, that they like to make it up as they go along and make up their own rules and wonder why but there are some people who follow everything, and everything is fine, and everything, they have to go to the emergency room. But that's one thing that I've noticed in this space, that there are content creators and there are influencers. The content creators are making content. They are looking to entertain. They are looking to get the numbers. And G's talked about this on his live the other day, and it made a lot of sense. But then you have the influencers. The influencers who are trying to influence people thinking to say, okay, if you're in the same age bracket like me, these are some things that are options that are out there for you. If you are interested in this right here, these are some options for you that work for me. And Evelyn, when we see you work out, not every day, but almost every day, I'm like, Evelyn, you influencing me to start doing some arm exercises or something. What
Oh,
what made you now want to put your story out there to tell ones about your journey? Talk about that, and you being a part of the YouTube family.
man. Like, I think, Paul, like I was thinking, okay, I definitely want to be like my authentic self always. Um, but to be honest with you, I was a little bit hesitant about how much I was going to show about my journey, especially in the very beginning, like months. Um, Not because I was trying to hide or anything like that. It's just you don't know what you don't know when you get into the YouTube space. And because I had been so inconsistent, previously before I transitioned to talking about, my weight loss journey and my powerlifting journey, I wasn't quite sure how to marry that to personal development, lifestyle stuff, which is kind of really how Beautiful I'm Colored got started. And and then, I have talks with I don't know about y'all, but I have talks with myself. And so in one of the talks with myself, I was like, you overcomplicating things. Like if your life is about providing hope and healing, and this is the portion of your journey that you're on in your life, it aligns with, what you're trying to present to whomever comes across your channel. But because I have some perfectionist tendencies, I will say that I think initially I kind of overanalyzed a lot of the things associated with my channel, how much I want to share, how much of it should be structured, not inauthentic, not scripted, but how much of it should be structured. You know what I'm saying? Like, what pieces of my podcast will I keep? What pieces won't I? And then it got to a point, like in the journey, Paul, because this journey truly is a journey, meaning it grows with you. And so the Evelyn I was when I started to share my journey in August of 2024, or I think maybe by that time, September, October, somewhere in there, is certainly not the Evelyn that I have become today. Um, and I think I just wanted to, yes, find community. That's a yes. And also I wanted to demonstrate in live color what I was doing to transform my life, to take it to the next level. Um, and I know you asked about lifting too, so I'll pause because I don't want to just, over talk. But those were some of like my, initial things. And frankly, it's still evolving. I'm still evolving, so as long as I'm still evolving and changing, and as long as I'm still on a transformational journey, which I have uh, declared is going to be the rest of my life, then as far as transformation, that is, then this is what my audience is going to get. So I guess I just didn't really have a choice in not showing them, because eventually, you know what I'm saying, it's going to show the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's going to show. So why not speak to it?
Now that's true. That's true. I want to give a shout out to some new folks that entered into the room. Carnival Muscle, what's up, bro? You gonna help me with my body
Hey,
composition
Jonathan.
this year? Also, Purple Bellflower Nicole, what's going on? I always love
Hey,
Purple
Nicole.
Bellflower. She is so encouraging, always there for us. And one of these days, Evelyn, we got to get her on these interviews too, because she has an amazing story
Yeah.
too. So I'm gonna try to get Nicole on here with us, Nicole, so we can hear your story. Anybody else in the chat that we have forgotten? Positive T's in the house. Please drop some topic emoji in there so we can recognize you and thank you for being here. And if you all don't mind, please hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to Evelyn's channel yet, make sure you do that, please. She has some amazing content and her powerlifting journey. And Evelyn is no joke. If you haven't been watching her exercise videos or workout videos, you are missing out, because she just like Jonathan said, you are a machine, Evelyn, and you are doing the thing. So let's so you mentioned something in that first part, and then we'll get into your powerlifting that you're doing, about the evolution. No pun intended with Evelyn, right? That's pretty cool, But um, one thing you one thing you mentioned that makes a lot of sense, like with me, I've been on this journey since February 14th, 2025. And I see myself evolving too in my journey. And it's sometimes it's scary, because we are stuck in bad habits or bad way of doing things, that I have to educate myself to say, okay, it's okay to change. It's okay to do these things. And that's helping me out in this journey myself. And thank you for sharing yours as well too. I just wanted to kind of interject my journey when it comes to that too, because I get that we are ever evolving, because we there should be a point in our journey when we are evolving for the better. This journey should not make us fall back into bad habits and get back into the habits of whatever thing we were doing in life, or whatever bad habits that caused us to be off our game, our health and lifestyle journey, to overtake this amazing opportunity that we have. It takes a lot of determination, it takes a lot of grit. And Evelyn, you embody that, because you work hard. I see it in your face.
Mhm.
I see it in the way you work out, when you're on that walking pad, when you are doing that lifting and everything. You are just serious about what you are doing. Were you always into powerlifting? Was it something you always wanted to do? Because I didn't even know you were into it until you dropped that video talking about that competition that you're trying to make weight for. So give us an update on if you're making weight for that competition too.
Yeah. So, okay. So you asked a couple questions there. So, first, the answer is no. I absolutely have not always been a power lifter. Um, I saw, and I shared it on one of my posts. There's an 80-plus-year-old Black woman um, who was interviewing, and I saw her story and just got mesmerized at how she started powerlifting at the age of 65. And I was like, dang, like that just goes to show you, like, really, it's really our own mind and how we're thinking about ourselves that denotes if we can be, do, say whatever we think, you know. And so that kind of planted the seed. And then you know how it is when you see one thing and then all of a sudden it'll be like other examples that kind of pop up here and there. And so whether that's the algorithm or not, I can't speak to that. But what I can tell you is that other powerlifters started popping up, and then I'll be watching, and in the back of my mind, it was just a curious thing. Like, can I do that? I mean, this lady started at 65. Some people start, at 40. And I was like, well, hell, I'm 40. At the time, I was 40. I'm 48 now, so I would say 46, 45, 46. And so it was just a percolating curiosity initially. And I remember a couple years ago, I had kind of softly um, shared my interest with my husband. And at the time, he was, kind of asking me questions about, why I wanted to do it. Was I trying to get on swole and all these other things, which are kind of comedic. But the way I took it at that time, even though it's not the way he meant it, it kind of suppressed my curiosity for a year. And so fast forward, I got on the GLP-1. I'm starting to lose weight. And mind you, my weight loss has not been fast at all. I started off at 204.4 pounds. I am currently hovering at 170. So I'm about 5 pounds away from my goal. And the year passed, and I was like, you know what? Let me take the next step. And here's a tip for anybody out there that's thinking about doing something that they've never done before. One of the easiest ways to manifest things is by taking the next step. So for me, the next step for me that kind of caused things to kind of turn at a quick clip was me reaching out to a local gym and setting up a one-on-one appointment with one of the trainers to kind of get an overview and an understanding of like what to expect. And then following through, of course, we're going to that appointment. Listen, I went to that first appointment, which was a one-on-one session, because I didn't want to be embarrassed by going to a group class at first, not knowing what I was doing. And I fell in love. I was like, these are the type of people I want to be around as far as my workout level of fitness. This is the environment I want to be in. And I fell in love, honestly, with it's a piece, and it's hard to explain if you don't do resistance training, but there is a piece that rises up inside of you when you have a real heavy weight. Like I remember when I maxed my deadlift for the first time, which was 203 pounds. And I remember that day in the gym, in my mind, I was thinking, I'll be good if I'm doing 150, thinking too low. Sometimes we think too low of ourselves. And so I remember picking up the weight. My coach had told me a couple of minor adjustments to make in my stance and in my grip. And I hit the 203. And there's this tension and this mind, body, spirit connection that happens when you're lifting the weight and you're battling mentally. Am I going to be able to do this? And it's a very like millisecond type of thought where you're like, I'm doing this. But the weight is heavy and you can feel it and your legs are shaking, but you know what I'm saying? But you have no choice but to stand up. The release that you get when you have pressed past that tense part, I think, frankly, I'm kind of addicted to be honest with you. But that's where the growth happens. Growth happens when we stretch beyond what we think is capacity. Because I went into the gym that day thinking my capacity was 150. No, your capacity is far greater than that. And so that kind of fed it. And then ever since then, I just, been consistent. And then of course I take the next step and now sign up for my first competition, which I'm super excited about.
That's awesome, Evelyn. I can just visualize you in that gym and doing that, just the way you felt like, oh, wow. Kind of reminds me, it was maybe 20 years post accident for me. And my therapist was trying to get me to do something to be able to like lift my hands up over my head when I'm on a mat. And I was like, oh, I can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. I was being extra. And my therapist, she's about this tall. And she's like, just do it. So I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and I got a video of it, and I did it, and I felt so good because I pushed through. And I get you on that. When we're able to push through, just the way that we feel about it motivates us to keep on going, and that's awesome. So we got a super chat. Thank you, Jonathan Carnivore Muscle. Really appreciate that. So you got a request, Evelyn. They want to show off them biceps.
Thank me. I thought that was for you. Oh.
Oh, is that for me, Jonathan, or Evelyn? Who's it for me? Is it for me, Evelyn, Jonathan? 'Cause I'll show you mine. Okay, here's mine. Here's mine. Okay, here we go. Let me do this right quick. Okay, Jonathan, this is mine. See, I got a little bat wing right there a little bit, so I need to work on that. But yeah, so I got so there we are right there. So yeah.
Looking good.
Vanity.
Looking good.
Oh, he said both of us, Evelyn. So boom. Can you give us a bicep shot? Bicep.
Oh, okay. I got on this sweater, so I don't know. Y'all not gonna be able to see mine good.
Oh wow, Evan.
So you
Look
can't.
at
I
that.
don't think you can see it that good through the
No, but I can
sweater. But
use my imagination to look at that bicep. That bicep is like, good job, Evelyn. Shout out to Vanity's in the house. What's up, V? Thank you so much for stopping by. She and I, whew, we shook the world yesterday, didn't we, Evelyn? You saw that video, right? Me and Vanity ruffled some cages yesterday. I got some of my subs went down after that. I was like, whoa, I guess I made somebody mad. I was like, somebody mad at me. Some of my subs went down, but I'm like, if you can't love me for who I am, then what did RMZ? What did Game say in his first album, the documentary? The song he did with Faith Evans. I don't need your love. I don't need your love. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't need your love. If y'all don't know that song by Game, check it out. Make sure you get the edited version. That's how I roll nowadays. But Evelyn, say some shout outs again, Paul. You really good interview. Man, you make your guests. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Val. I really do. I want to when I invite someone on, to chat, it's like they're like a guest in my house. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they can just open up, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Go through some more comments right quick. Biceps are peaking. Nice. All right. Everybody saying hi to Vanity. Purple Bellflower. Evelyn doesn't want to rip her sweater. That's what John. Yep. All right, go ahead, Evelyn. All right. I seen you before, Evelyn. Yep. Yeah, Evelyn and her cute stuff tonight. Yep. That's true, Nicole. She's like, I'm coming. If you want to see me work out, you make sure you check it out tomorrow. So not the Jen. It's like whatever. I'm good with it. It's like if you're not down for me, you're not down for me. You just show me who you really are, and it's cool. I don't want people around me who can't accept who I really am, and my view when it comes to this GLP-1 streets and these journeys, because that's just me. I'm trying to use my voice, use my experience to help people out who are struggling at their last resort, like I was. I'm not in this for no game. I'm not in this to try to make money. I'm in this game to help change people's lives and make them healthy and help them out. And those who are down, they down. So, Evelyn, I'm gonna get off my soapbox right here. So, Evelyn, you're gonna be in the competition, and you said you're about, is it 5 pounds? 5 pounds away
no, you
from.
good. You good.
Is it 5 pounds your way now?
Yeah. From 165. Yeah, I'm 5 pounds away, about 5 pounds away from 165. And so this is important to note. So for me on my GLP-1 journey, like I was never really focused on like pounds lost for a long time, like since pretty much the beginning of my journey, all the way up until I signed up for my competition. But the way the competitions are designed, they're by age and weight class. And so you can't be over a certain weight in a particular weight class. And so the 165 is aligned with the weight class that I signed up for because that weight class was actually the closest to my current weight at that time when I registered. But from the very beginning, I was focused on body fat, lowering body fat percentage because I'm what people in the South would call thick. And especially at 204, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a size like a type 14. And because I'm pear shaped, you know what I'm saying? I was thick. And so I needed to get down my body fat because I was starting to feel like, some aches and pains like in my knee area, both my knees to be honest with you. And I just was like, no, I'm gonna focus on getting this body fat down. If that means that my weight stays, at a quote standstill for a while, so long as I'm lowering my body fat, I'm good. Because I knew that I needed to keep muscle, especially given my age, that I needed to keep muscle on. And so, yeah, so 165, that's what it is for me. And I plan to maintain between 160 and 165 because I plan to sign up for other competitions.
Wow, congratulations, Evan. When I saw that video that you're talking about, I was like, okay, how can we support it? What can we do? You got a GoFundMe? You got something that we can support you? Is we can sign up for? Because we want to see you succeed in this. So whatever you need, I even got some boxes of Trizepatide if you want it. I can ship it to you. That you let me know. I got you. Okay, I got you. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, we there. We there with it. Jerlene, thank you so much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Jerlene is an amazing, but
Oh,
she is so supportive. Jerlene, she is one of those supporters that will love you and support you all the time. And Jerlene, you are special. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. RMZ, he said, classic. Yes, yes, yes,
that's
yes.
sweet.
Classic song. Evelyn, you probably remember that too, because even though I'm a little older than you, but that was a song that came out by Game when he came out with the documentary. Marlon might know that song, but it's called I Don't Need Your Love. Faith Evans sung the hook on it. And again, remember, listen to the edited version because that real version gets kind of raunchy, and I've turned over a new leaf many years ago, so I listen to the edited stuff now. But that's what I do. All right, my knees were killing me. That's what Dr. Jen says. Felicia Marie said, "Oh my God, Paul," and then send me a box. All right, I got you, Miss Toy. I got you. Okay, YouTube overseers out there. I'm just joking. I'm joking, allegedly, but I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. So don't flag this. Don't flag this interview and things like that. But yeah, that's a Purple Bellflower said. So Ev, when is the competition?
April 25th. So it's April 25th, which is a Saturday. Registration is still open right now, so I haven't received like the final, like which flight I'm gonna go in, and that's just a term that just describes the group that I will go in. So I don't know what time yet on Saturday, April 25th, but the meet is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so, and it's in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. So
I
I'm
didn't know you.
super excited.
I didn't know you're from Memphis.
Yes, born and raised.
I did not. So what brought you to the home of the Buffaloes, Colorado?
My husband. Okay, so um, I think you might know this, Paul, but Marlon and I, we're high school sweethearts. And so Marlon got a scholarship to CU Boulder when we were in high school.
Oh,
And so
wow.
initially, that's what kind of brought me out. And then Marlon had some opportunities work wise to where, because he traveled for work a lot. And this is one of the places that we were like, if we can move back to any other places that we live, which place would it be? And it was Denver or Colorado. And so we had an opportunity about 10 years ago to move back. And this is actually the longest place we've ever lived in 30 years of marriage.
Wow. Wow, that's cool. So maybe you can
Hmm.
settle an argument right here. Okay, so Memphis is known for they, as we say, and you know how we say it, Evelyn, barbecue. Also, California got some good
Yep.
barbecue. Have you been to California and tasted California barbecue? And if you have,
Mm,
who has the best? Who has the best barbecue?
I can't really speak on California barbecue. I will tell you, I'm partial. I'm partial. My palate is very partial to Southern cuisine and Southern seasonings, and so I I can't speak to anything barbecue in California. And I've been to California a few times. Um, but what place is known for barbecue in California? And I'm not. This is not shade at all. I'm truly asking you, what place is known for barbecue in California?
I think you throwing shade, Evelyn. You know, I'm picturing you with your drink and your stogie in your hand, throwing shade at me right now. By asking me that question right now. But all right, see, RMZ
I would
is from
never do that. You're the
RMZ
host. I would never do that.
RMZ is from California too. So Southern California, like I am. So there were different spots, like in Compton, like in LA. RMZ, you can
Okay.
co-sign on this for me. But they have places called like DNA Barbecue in Compton that was really good. They had the Rib Nest in Gardena that was really good. Mr. Jim's Barbecue
Hmm.
in South Central was really good. Woody's Barbecue in LA. But what happened is,
Hmm.
Evan, a lot of those places have like closed down. So to get some really good barbecue now in the Southern California area, I mean, you gotta catch out, you gotta catch the folks that are like on the street corner doing it. And that is some really good barbecue. A lot of street vendors doing it now, but
Okay.
it's not like it was, not like it was in the past. But have you seen a picture of Thick Paul as Felicia's talking about? Have you seen Thick Paul? That picture of me being thick? Have you seen that?
I have. Yes, sir.
Okay,
I
yeah,
have.
I was thick Paul. Yeah, so
Hmm.
that's what Felicia calls me. Okay, RMZ says this. This is what he says. Let me go down. Look at some okay, questions that I missed. Oh yes, Jerlene. Yes, if I miss any questions, please drop some cues in there. Thank you, Jerlene. I'm gonna look and check it out. All right, Purple Bellflower. You go over here, Miss Toy says, is there a way to watch your competition online? So is there a way to watch your competition?
There might be. It's going to depend on the meet directors. And so after registration closes, which is going to be April 3rd, they'll release like the final, what do you call it? Final day of meet run of show to all of the athletes. And so I'll know at that time if they're going to stream from there, like on their end. But if they don't stream on their end, I'm going to have Marlon stream on my channel. So
Okay.
either way, I'm going to share the experience with you all because a lot of people have shown interest, and I highly value this community and want you all to be a part of the journey, as I go along. So I will be sharing it regardless of if the meet does it officially or not.
I love that, Evelyn. We'll definitely do that. Definitely do that. Now, Evelyn, being in Memphis, you know about MJG, A Ball and MJG, right?
I know who A Ball and MJG is, Triple Six. Yes, I not know them personally, of course, but yes, I'm very familiar. But I would tell you, in my marriage, I am the ultra saved person. Okay, ultra saved when I met my husband. My husband, on the other hand, not so much. So when we talk about hip hop and all of that, my husband can go with you. Evelyn, not so much. That's the
All
green,
right.
that's the green part of me. You know what I'm saying? You would think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish
Yeah.
I could, but I can't. I wish I could flow, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my gift.
No, it's all good. We got to do a live with Marlon, me, RMZ, Marlon, and we'll talk about some hip hop and one of my favorite songs by MJG and A Ball when they said, "I'll be obliged if you step inside." That was one of my the dopest songs I like by them. But yeah, all right, here we go. We got another comment. Jen says, "Paul is Bessie and Evan Shady, a perfect
Okay.
match." I love it. I love it. I love it, Ev. See how it is right there.
I
So
would try to be. I I promise
no,
you, I
we
would try to be.
no, we get a reputation here, Evelyn. That's what we're doing. All right. So RMZ is chiming in on some barbecue right quick. Here we go. Texas has the best. Okay, Texas has the best barbecue. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. All right. Positive T says also too.
Texas
Horns
has some good
barbecue,
barbecue.
most craft bar Bledsoe. You Bledsoe, yes. I used to cover the used to be called the Long Beach Barbecue
Okay.
Festival. So I was like the man on the streets. I would go around different booths, taste all the different barbecue. And I'm telling you, I did that for 3 days straight. I was so tired of barbecue. And Bledsoe was one of the competitors one year, and Chef Jimmy and I struck up a friendship. Do you know at the end of the barbecue fest, Jimmy gave me a 20-pound brisket already cooked. I took that thing home, sliced that thing up. I ate off of that for almost 4 months. So Bledsoe got some
Wow.
good barbecue. Yeah, they do. They do. All right. Some more comments right quick, Evelyn, and we'll get back into our
Yeah,
discussion.
that sounds good.
Yes. I tried, Geraldine. You know, I try to make it entertaining and also just informative. I mean, Evelyn has a great story. I mean, there's a lot of people, all these great stories, and we need to elevate them more. I mean, I'm tired of and RMZ does a great job about this too. RMZ's guests, they be having some incredible stories. I mean, DJ Don Juan. I forgot the one he had on last week, but I'm like, these are riveting stories right there. It's more of, it goes into a more deeper conversation than what shot are you on? What are your side effects? It's like getting down
Mhm.
to some grits, eggs, and bacon. We're trying to get down to what's really going on in
Mhm.
these streets, and RMZ does a great job. I don't know
Yeah.
RMZ if you notice. I'm starting to bite some of your style right now, but game recognized game, brother. Game recognized game. That's what we do. That's what we do. All right, Evelyn. So anything else about your journey you'd like to share with us before we get into the live that you did last week, last Saturday in
Mhm.
particular, and you really had the hard conversation that we need to have in these GLP-1 streets. So anything else about your journey you want to share before we get into that?
I would say, Paul, just one final thing, and it really just serves as kind of like a reminder for our community. And that is, I've been thinking a lot lately about the articles. By articles, I'm referring to grammar school, a, and the, right? And the meaning of what those words mean. And I think sometimes when people watch our channels, it might come across that we have the way to do something, right? The way. When in fact, all of us combined have a way. We have an approach. Um, and none of those are wrong. None of the approaches are wrong. None of the approaches are better than the other. That's what makes us a collection, if you will. And so I think as we all continue on our transformational journeys, just to keep that in the back of our minds that none of us have the way, but all of us collectively have a way that we're sharing that others can glean from.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Evelyn. And Evelyn, you are a pretty impressive individual. I mean, you have hearing some of the things you've done on your channel. You've worked in, I want to say, in the political space. You've done that. Correct me if I'm
Mhm.
wrong. You have
That's true.
you come across as someone who is well put together mentally. The way that you explain things, like you just explained the a that made so much sense. I think, and G's kind of touched it this yesterday in his live. I think sometimes in this community we think we have the way. I was watching somebody the other day that I said I would stop watching because when I watched, I would get upset because it's obvious that this person is trying to chase paper. They're trying to chase just the next greatest thing because they're not having success when it comes to their health and lifestyle journey. And the reason why I say that is not that the person is not having some of the struggles we always have when we plateau, because we do plateau on these in these GLP-1 streets. I mean, there's some who don't, but this is an individual. I'm not going to say if it's a male or a female, but this individual is one of them. Will go grab some ice cream and say, "Oh yeah, I'm eating this ice cream, and I'm just going to do me." They'll go grab some mac and cheese, some barbecue. Oh, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do this. Then the next video talking about, oh, these GLP-1s have gave me this amazing thing, and I'm like, would you just settle on one thing? But G's last night talked about it. Some people are content creators. Some people are influencers. Influencers are those who want to influence the conversation, influence uh, a journey to help, like you said, help ones to see that there is a way, but not the way, and find your way. And it just frustrates me sometimes. And that leads me to the chat that you had started off by you first, and then Jen, JC came in and Gabe chimed in. What made you want to go live and talk about that particular subject? And if you don't mind,
Mhm.
for ones who missed it, tell them about the subject that you talked about and why you chose to tackle that.
Sure. So this past weekend's live, it was just an hour, but it had really been on my mind to share just candidly, like why I was making certain changes on my page, or why you might have gotten used to seeing me, you know, on every other live or every this or every that. Um, and frankly, I had shared this proclamation on my channel months ago. And the proclamation was this: if YouTube ever gets to a point to where it feels like a job, then I am going to be out. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to have the conversation because I tend to have a mindset that's kind of like a all or nothing. Give it all you got or nothing. And so I'm learning still at 48 years old to operate in this space of gray where everything is not going to be all or nothing. That's not life. And so I said, well, Evelyn, you have been doing approximately 30 hours a week on YouTube since January, because that's when I was doing like lunchtime lives, plus my workout lives, plus long form videos. I was watching, um, a lot of content creators, who are sharing different strategies and approaches to growing your channel. And of course, I want to grow my channel. And also, what was happening is in applying some of these tips um, and guided practices, um, I was starting to feel like my work on my channel was becoming more work than what I was willing to give. So I was like, you know what? I want to talk about it because I don't want to just be one of those people that, oh, leave it to my audience imagination as to why I'm not doing a certain thing. I'm one of those people in my real life, meaning outside of the virtual arena, that I'll tell on myself long before anybody gets the chance to tell on me or come up with whatever imagination there your narrative is about me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this on my channel because I think it's important. I think it's actually part of a healthy lifestyle as well to take an assessment. And if something is not working for you, no matter what that thing is, in this connect case, we're talking about YouTube. But if something is not working for you, then it's the onus is on you to pivot and change and modify it to make it be what you want it to be. So for me, it was wanting to have like a candid conversation about how am I going to balance being a quote YouTuber and bringing content to the audience, but then also still maintaining a healthy sense of balance, in my private life. And so I had noticed a couple things that had transpired with me dedicating more and more time to YouTube. One of the things was Marlon would come home from work, and let's say it's one of my work from home days, and this is a real example. Marlon comes home from work. It's about six something at night. I have already closed my work laptop because I do not use my work laptop to do nothing on the YouTube because I cannot play those. I cannot do that with my job. And so I closed my work laptop. I transitioned my private laptop up. I'm going through comments, trying to make sure I stay up on top of comments, within 24 to 48 hours. And I don't just want to like it or, just say thank you. I want to make sure they know that I read it. So I tend to be a little bit long winded in my response back. Oh, now I got to think about um, what long form video I'm going to put out. Oh, is my thumbnail right? Oh, is my title right? Oh, did I put the hashtags in the description box? Oh, did I remember to go back into that live after it closed out and comment on it? And I said, girl, this is too much. This is not me, Evelyn, and I'm only speaking to myself. I cannot do that because it started to feel a bit chaotic. And it also started to encroach upon the very intimate times that my husband likes to have with me. My husband, when he comes home, he is, and let me just say this, Marlon has never at any point said, Evelyn, you can't do X. Never. And he never would say that. But you know who you married to. You know what I'm saying? And you know the signs associated with when there's, a change in the atmosphere or disappointment because maybe they wanted more time. But by the time I get ready to sign off and done with YouTube, it's my bedtime because I'm in the bed in my pajamas usually about 7:30, 8 o'clock every night, even on the weekends. And so I was like, this is not sustainable for you for the long term. So what kind of decisions are you going to make? And I made the decision. I was like, well, instead of 30 hours, 10 to 15 is doable. That's manageable for me. And that's what I can commit to. I can still deliver content, but I'm going to have to, scale back a little bit on how much time I'm spending on different lives and stuff like that. And tell people, I will watch the replay, but I'll have to watch it, what I'm saying, when it's built into, kind of like my new time. And I wanted to share that with my audience and take the guesswork out of, okay, Evelyn used to do this, but I don't see her over there. No, we're not going, I don't play those types of games. So I'm going to take the guesswork out of it and let's just have a conversation about the realness of balancing, trying to grow a channel in a healthy way and what that looks like from a sustainable standpoint. Because I do work full time as well. So for me, it was just making those adjustments.
That makes sense, Evelyn. I get that. Paula, welcome. Great to have you, Paula. Paula's a great supporter too of all of us. Jerlene, if you can do me a favor, put that question in again because I think it might have got filtered because I looked through all the chat and couldn't find it, Jerlene. So if you can put that in there, please. And if it gets filtered, let me know when you do it. Now I'll check it out. All right. Sunshine is in the house. Hey, Sunshine. How are you? So great to have you, Sunshine. And that conversation got real. And I'll tell you a little bit of my story. Because my channel was built on another premise and I wasn't getting the traction like I got before, I got a coach to help me out to try to get the algorithm to watch me, to find me, and push my content out. So he would say, do this, do that, send me a draft, send me this and that. And Evelyn, one time, no lie, I sent that guy like 3 different versions, 3 different edits, and I had to redo it. And I'm simply like, this is not fun no more. I was like, I'm not enjoying this. And I was like, you know what?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to do me. And as me doing me, that means that I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not going to follow anybody else's lead. I know
Yep.
what I'm doing. And then do you know
Yep.
my CTR was a lot higher when I started doing stuff my own way than doing the person another way. And that's after I spent like almost $1,000. So if you're a content creator
Oh,
and
my
if you're
goodness.
out there, don't waste your money on some of these coaches because no one knows what's going to hit or not. Nobody has that. the way you can really see if a person know what they're talking about, if they only getting like 1,000, 1,500 views, how in the world are you gonna blow up when they ain't blown up? So that's just me saying, Jerlene, for some reason, your comment is not coming, Jerlene. So I'm gonna go through the chats right quick, Jerlene.
Yeah.
Now, does anybody, Jerlene, does anybody have Jerlene's number who may have my number and they can text me Jerlene's question? Because Jerlene, I want to get to that question. Yeah, Jerlene,
I
your
didn't see
question
it
is
either.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, your question is not. It might be getting filtered, Jerlene. So what you may want to do is spell it incorrectly. So if spell it incorrectly, that we know what the question is, if that makes sense. Because I know one time I was trying to Felicia and them had a game, and I was spelling something and it wouldn't go through. It kept getting blocked, and so I had to spell it like a different way. So if you can do that, Jerlene, because I do not want to neglect your question, Jerlene. I want to make sure that we can give your question some some attention to it. The conversation that you and Jen had,
Hmm.
it really touched on some other things too about the community. You mind kind of sharing that too? I'm not trying to be messy or nothing. These I don't want to put words in your mouth. These are conversations that we have to have, because I think all of us have different views when it comes to if people are watching us or not, the amount of time that we're going to invest in watching somebody. And you all really got into some really good discussion about that. And you mind sharing a little bit more about that, Evelyn? Because I think it's like something that needs to be heard out there.
Yeah, you'll have to kind of, if I'm skipping over parts that you definitely want me to highlight, please help me out. I'm not trying to jog
Oh,
around
no,
what
no,
you're
no worries.
asking me.
No, no, not at all.
Because
Not
I
at
know
all.
my computer was cutting out quite a lot in my lives on
Yeah.
Saturday. And so if you need to kind of, now girl, it was this part, just chime in and tell me, okay? I'm not gonna be
Nah,
offended
no
at all.
worries. Nah, no worries at all.
But there, I do recall there being a point in the live where there was a question posed about, like, expectation, um, in terms of, the support level of one another, um, which is not the lane that I was trying to go down at all, to be honest with you. Um, and I'll say this, Paul. I think that sometimes when you have a giving spirit naturally, um, I think that sometimes you might, not that anybody said this, I want to be very clear, not that anybody mandated something, but sometimes there can be this unspoken unspoken expectation that you need to be at every, you need to be, you know what I'm saying, and stay for the duration, or make it known when you need to exit and things like that. Now, I think somebody asked me, like, who actually said that, and it wasn't a who. And we had this conversation about, it's me thinking that, because I do have a high expectation for myself, how I show up in GLP-1 communities and things like that. I think some things stick out more than others in terms of, you know, who watches who and things like that. And to me, that does border being messy, just to be frank with you, for my taste. Um, and I never want my channel to be that, which is why I'm very direct in stating that if you gotta go, go. I totally get it. I understand. We all have, lives, or, you know, if if you miss the live, it's okay. That's what the replays are for. I don't expect people to do anything that I'm not modeling. I'll give it another example. I never tell people to turn on notifications on my channel. I'll say like, comment, and subscribe, because those are some of the things that I do for other people. But I'm never going to tell people to turn on notifications. Want to know why? Because I don't like notifications. I don't like them. That's just a personal preference. And it does kind of go back to what I was saying earlier and pointed on, is that there is not necessarily the way that we need to show up in any of our channels. There's not. There's not a script. The algorithm is constantly changing. And frankly, I don't have the time to keep up with all those changes, and I'm not. And I'm not. Um, and so I don't put those types of expectations on other people on my channel. Um, but I will say I think my own thinking, my own trying to make sure that I show up in a way that I think other people, you know what I'm saying, would like for me to show up. Because sometimes when we're showing support, it's not just the support that you would like for yourself, it's showing up in a way that translates to what the other person would like as well. So there's that
Yeah.
people pleasing. There's a little bit of that people pleasing aspect. But then I think also there's a little bit of that I just want to convey to other people that I am here and I'm a support.
Yeah.
And I think what's also true is that there's varying levels of support. You know what I'm saying? So there's frankly some YouTube channels in the GLP-1 community and other communities, because I'm not just in GLP-1, that I love their content. So I might watch 5, 6 videos. I might not watch 5, 6 GLP-1 videos. I might not, but I think the thing is that we get to choose as consumers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like this. I'll say this point and I'm gonna be quiet. I was talking to somebody and I was like, our channels are like this. When sliced bread, and for those of you who already know this analogy, please forgive me, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it. When sliced bread came out, it was the best thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then this brand over here said, we're gonna do sliced bread too. Okay. Fast forward to today. We got Nature's Own, we got Dave's Killer Bread, we got freaking Wonder Bread, we got Sara Lee, and we got a host of breads. Okay. That guess what? Everybody's buying. Everybody's buying all of these brands. I'm likening that to our channels. Okay. This person might just only do Nature's Own, and ain't nothing wrong with it. This person might say, I'm gonna do Dave's Killer Bread bagel this week, and I'm gonna do what's some other bagels? I haven't tried these ones yet, but they start with an S. Some other bagels
Oh,
in our
solas.
community that's popular.
Those are good. Solas are
Yeah,
good. Those are good bagels.
I've only tried the Dave's, but the
Yeah.
solas I do need to try. I have looked for them, but I have not found them. So it's okay. It's a smorgasbord out here for you to choose from. And I think the thing is that we need to learn. How can I say? I don't want to sound like I'm condemning. What I am learning is this: do things from a place of love. If you find yourself thinking about things that are more judgy, then maybe it's time to reassess. Maybe it's time to take a pause and a break. Maybe it's time to do, you know what I'm saying, something else for a minute. Try different bread. Let me just say that, try different bread. And there is nothing wrong with that. And that's the piece that I think that I'm seeing and sensing and noticing that I think we can work on, is to try not to get offended. Try not to get offended, easily offended. Or if something does happen, then be able to have the conversation and say, you know what? The truth is, I just really miss seeing you around. And so I might have said it in this way. This person doesn't show up, or that person doesn't show up, or whatever. I don't know. I'm making up some stuff at this point.
No, that
But
makes
you
sense.
get where I'm going from, because I feel like I'm beating a dead,
Yeah.
beating a.
You-
Have some of the conversations. You know what I'm saying? And I think when we don't do that in a respectful and loving way, that's where the offense happens. That's where people um get their hearts hardened. And that's not a place that I want to live in. That's not a place that I want to project. Um, and that's it. I feel like I'm saying way too much. So
No, no,
that's
no.
what I'll say. But Paul,
Yeah, you saying real talk, Evelyn, and that's, that was respectful, that was tasteful. Don't feel any kind of way about it. What you said was truthful. We all adults, and I appreciate you saying that. It makes a lot of sense. So I want everybody to try Evelyn bread, RMG bread, positive T bread, and all the other breads out there. You can follow her. So Jerlene, so the word soak came through and the word YouTube came through. Jerlene, so those two words were able to come through. So now are you asking does she soak on YouTube, or if you can give some more clarification, Jerlene, I will not end this live until we get your question. So please let me know. I want to make sure we get that question, okay? You brought up a very good point, Evelyn, that I'm gonna start to do. And that is not ask people to hit the notification bell. Because I don't do it all the time either. I'll ask them to like, subscribe, comment, because those are some things that I do. So I appreciate you saying that, because in this space, and these are ones who have like these huge channels, I don't see them liking, commenting on other small channels who like them. And I have a real problem with that. I always make it a concerted effort that when somebody subscribes to me, who's a content creator, no matter how small they are, I will drop them a sub, because they took the time out to sub me. They like my video, I'm gonna go like theirs. I mean, it's just like I appreciate what they're doing, and it's me supporting them. Like, hey, I want you to rise up too. I'm here to support you. We got to do this. But it kills me when some of these big channels, and it's just not GLP-1, like you said. It's other spaces too, because I've been around all these other spaces. But they'll sit there and interview a person. That person will drop a comment in there, or they don't even link the person's channel in there. And I'm like, okay, so you just want to use me to go to your channel. And I'm like, shouldn't you put the person's name in there? Thanks so and so for being on my channel. Check out her channel. RMZ does a great job when he does this. I always send a collaborator link out, because I want us all to to get some run from this. My subscribers become other people's subscribers. There's a lot of selfishness here, and I just don't get why. Wait a minute. I do get why, because some people are like that. But that's just me, Evelyn. You let me know if I'm wrong in thinking like that, because I can take any type of direction or criticism. So let me know if I'm thinking wrong in this space, because that's how I feel.
No, it's how you feel. So, I mean, your feelings are valid, right, Paul? So, no, you're not wrong at all. What I will say is this. I think that I don't share the same exact sentiment as you. I think that it depends on how you're looking at it. But if you haven't expressly stated on your channel that this is how you want people to show up, or um, when I host a live, this is what I do, this is my practice, then you leave everything to guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no different than in the real world. If you got a new employee, and you know what I'm saying, in the training process and throughout the training, you never set the expectation. You know what I'm saying? So that gives the person an opportunity to understand what they're getting themselves into. You know what I'm saying? And or to ask follow-up questions even. And I will say that I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of sometimes knowing up here in my head the full plan, but I haven't always explained that to, let's just take it out of YouTube, for example. Let's say I haven't explained it to Marlon. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking Marlon needs to understand that this is what it is. But if you've never
Mhm,
had the
mhm,
conversation, how?
mhm.
Because all of us are different. And so I don't get offended by that kind of stuff at all. Just that, but that's me. Like the bigger channels, I'll just be frank, I don't watch them really, to be honest with you.
Go-
Um,
Good. Sorry.
I did watch the live that you did last night. I watched the replay, and um, I personally just don't care about stuff like that. I'll just keep it real with you. I pers I personally don't care about stuff like that because I'm too focused intently on what I'm trying to do. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in the in some way kind of it is kind of comparison of what is being done over here versus what is not being done over here and the like. And for me, I just choose to just focus the majority of that energy on me and how I can get better. You know what I'm saying? Or even sometimes learn what not to do. Because there's many ways that a person can learn. We can learn a way that we want to model, and we can also say, I'm not going to do X. Um, but yeah, I try not to be like that. I think
That makes sense.
best thing one can do is just put all put all the energy into your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And try not to be
Mhm.
easily offended. Because I don't think I'll be honest with you, Paul. I don't think most people, not all now, there are always exceptions to everything. I don't think most people are intentionally trying to hurt people. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't think. I don't think. I don't think that. Um,
Yeah.
but that's my thought on it. And I don't do mess on any form, drama, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. The back and forth, the child. I don't have time for none of that. I told you I'll get off of this whole platform with ease. You know what I'm? It's too much. It's too much life out
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? It's too
Yeah.
much stuff that's really popping off. Like how when Grant and his wife was talking about the daughter that they lost today.
Oh
It's real
yeah.
life happening out here. So
Real
I don't.
life. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't have
Absolutely.
time to do minuscule back and forth. I I'm not doing it. I just don't
Mm.
participate. That's also an option. Just don't. You
Yeah.
know?
No, that makes sense. Miss Toy says at that point, focus on you. And I guess my thing is this, like, and you dropped a really good nugget. So let's say that if someone is inviting you to be on their channel, always ask questions. They do this in the media field. Whenever we pitch interview requests to different people out there, the PR people always ask, will this be shared on social media? Will you tag them? So there's a standard practice in media where those questions are asked. So some of you out there who care about that, make sure you ask questions and say, "Yeah, I would love to be on your program. Will it be shared? Will I be tagged in any post?" And that's like the game that people play now, even when it comes to different influencers too. When you get some influencer dollars, they say, okay, make sure you tag us in this post. That's how we know we can count our numbers as well too. So Evelyn, I'm glad you even talked about us assuming certain things, but we have to ask questions if people care about that. But some people may not care about it. But like, okay, cool. I'm gonna roll with it. Let's go. I'm gonna do this interview. No problem at all. So I appreciate you giving your take on it, Evelyn. Um, and Jerlene, please
For
put your
sure.
question in there.
And let me just say this too, Paul. I sometimes I can go off on a bit of a tangent, and so that's just me and one of my little quirks. And so I want to just say because I saw a couple of comments, I am not saying that being kind, of course, being kind and being courteous to one another as human beings is always something that needs to be done. That is, I'm on board with that. I'm saying some of the other things, some of the other things that um not necessarily below the belt, but kind of right there hovering at being um not as considerate of others is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um and I
That makes
and
sense.
I like I said, I do for oh go ahead.
Oh no, that makes sense. I want you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying that yeah, I done beat that long enough. I
Yeah.
think you all understand where I'm saying because I don't think that I don't think that I have, but I can always stand to be corrected that I've ever, offended, at least definitely not intentionally. But I also think that it's important that if it's illuminated that you did play a part in something, I think you do need to be a big enough person to come and apologize.
Yeah.
And I definitely would do that if I was ever in a situation where I did something that was out of line, or I didn't know that I harmed someone in some way. I would actually come back and apologize, because I believe that that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. And I will let you know all the stuff I watched from you, Evelyn. You have never made anybody feel uncomfortable. You have never, tried to shade anybody. I've never seen that from you. I've always seen a person who was kind, who was considerate, and who was not into drama. So I've never got that impression from you. You've always stayed above any mess that was out there, and that's really commendable. When it comes to this, because these streets sometimes can consume people to the mud, to the point where they think they're in a reality show. So it's like, at the end of the day, this is fun. This is the way that we share our journey. We show people what we're doing, and we keep it like that. So yeah. Now I'm with you. I'm with you on it, Evelyn. Go through some more questions. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. 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 So, any more questions for Evelyn? Please, Jerlene. Please put your question there. I feel so bad that we're not able to get it. I know you put soak and you put in
Oh,
YouTube. So, Evelyn, please fill in the blanks, because I want to make sure that we answer that question. And if you out there
and
have any more
it,
questions, go ahead, Evelyn.
what was it, Paul? You said soap? It was soap?
Yeah, so she spelled the word soak, SOK, and then YouTube. She spelled YouTube UTUBE. So she was trying to ask, I think, something in conjunction with soak and YouTube, I think. And if somebody has Jerlene's number, and Jerlene, if you can text it to them,
I'm not sure.
and then if someone could kind of spell it differently, because Jerlene, I do not want to miss that question, that question that you have. Evelyn, another question I want to ask, and you kind of touched on it
Hmm.
with the different breads and things like that.
Hmm.
Variety is definitely the spice of life. Even though different breads and things like that. Do you feel
Hmm.
there's other varieties of voices in this space that really need to be focused on more than just the typical this person, that person, or is there subjects out there that people should really be focusing on, in your opinion, when it comes to this health and lifestyle journey, fitness journey? Is there anything out there that you think we need to really, pay attention to?
I'm going to say no. And here's why I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because, and I responded to someone on my channel, I forget who it was, but Marlon actually is the one who pointed this out to me, is that it's called YouTube, right? Meaning your tube. And so with that, you get to do and present what you want to do on your channel. And so I don't feel that I am positioned to say what someone else, needs to speak on and or do, because it truly is kind of like their own, little planet. And I think you can suggest, sure, but as far as, I feel like this piece is missing, I no. I think that, if you're the person that's watching and consuming the content and you feel like something is missing, then it sounds like you might need to get on YouTube and present what you feel is missing. That's what I would say. But I
Okay.
wouldn't say right now existing that somebody needs to, say something that's missing. No. If you
No,
see something that's missing, then that might be a clue that you jump on in the deep end with us.
I love that.
Because
I,
it's
I
not
love that.
easy.
I love that. Get off the
This
sideline
is
and make
not
your own
easy.
channel. Yeah, I like that. I
Because
like that,
what
Evelyn.
what we're what we're doing, Paul, is not easy. It's just not. And uh picking the pieces of our lives that we want to share with the world, with millions of people. And I understand, even though we're small channels, and absolutely I am a very small channel, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the pieces of my real life that I'm sharing with you. It's a vulnerable space to be in. And we need to
Yeah.
consider that holistically when we're talking about these type of topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, I think Jen said it before. We're in people's homes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in my home. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a scripted for show thing that you get in. This is a version of Evelyn. You're not seeing work Evelyn, but this is a version of Evelyn that you get. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy to be out here like this. Um, and so no, that's why I would say my answer is gonna be no. Mm-mm. I wouldn't touch that at all. I don't think anything's missing. I don't think anything is broken. I think that we all have different pieces of the puzzle. And you know what? You might not, that might not be your flavor, that might not be this or that. Then you can change the channel.
Mhm.
That's what consumerism is.
That makes sense. Jerlene, this is my email address. Can you email me your question, please? Because I will not stop this live until we get your question, Jerlene. So please. And Evelyn, I'm gonna push back just a little bit about what's
Go ahead.
missing.
Go ahead.
About what's missing.
Okay.
When I saw you do your video when you were sitting back, you had your little drink. Hey,
Hmm.
Harjarine, good to see you. Hey, Shani. When I saw that, I was like, that's what's missing right there. We need more of Evelyn like that. Evelyn Unplugged. I mean, that was just, it was like so refreshing the way you were just talking to us, the way you were just putting it down, speaking from the heart. I mean, you do that all the time on your videos, but I'm telling you, Evelyn, that little space that you was in, I was like, this right here. This is, I'll speak for myself. I personally, is my personal opinion, I personally feel that that's what's missing because the way you did
Okay.
things,
Okay.
Evelyn, I, I'm with that. I'm down for that. I mean, that was just chef's kiss. That was awesome.
Well, thank you, Paul, and that's very good feedback. And here's what I will say: when I'm like that, because there are different times and spaces, like where you see glimpses of the different variations of Evelyn. Not like I got split personalities or anything like that, but all of us are made up of different experiences, different things that can come out and get sparked at different times. Sometimes you might catch me like that after a powerlifting session. Sometimes you might catch me like that, you know what I'm saying, when how I was that particular day, on a sunny Sunday afternoon and I'm on the back patio chilling with my husband. Um, the goal on my channel is, like I say, to be as authentic as I possibly can and deliver to the listener, to the watcher, as much of my authentic self as possible. But I'll just be transparent and say that sometimes I don't always want to be in that space because that's a very intimate space. Like, if I weren't a YouTuber, that would be a space that would just be shared between my husband and I, regardless of if there was an audience or not. You know what I'm saying? I just happened to that day say, I'm going to let my audience see a different side of me because I can be more structured. I can be more, how my daughter said, business like, business professional when I'm not working out. But then there's this other piece of me. But I sincerely appreciate that feedback. Um, but I will tell you this: at no point will moments like that ever be scripted. But none of my stuff is scripted. So
Yeah,
that's good feedback
absolutely.
though, and I understand your question better now with that particular context of what is missing. I think
Yeah,
I took your original question my processing was a bit different from a contextual standpoint. So
yeah.
I apologize for not interpreting it correctly.
No, it's all good because what you said needed to be said too, Evelyn. So I love both answers and everything, and definitely we we ain't cool with scripted stuff because we can tell when people are scripted. So the fact that you let us into your authentic self, I would be, it would be wrong of me to ask you to do that all the time, but whenever you feel that way, Evelyn, and you do it, we're there for you to support you. Whenever you have those unplugged raw moments where you want to be business. So we enjoyed it because we saw just you talking to us, breaking it down for us. And when people are able to do that, it just connects with us on a whole new different level. And we're like, yeah, what Evelyn is saying make a lot of sense. It's it's helping me out with it. So, you know, just whenever you do, Evelyn, we here for it. All right. Just want you to know that. We got a we got a question. Here we go. Can you answer it too? It's a vulnerable space to come on YouTube to make your story public. What made you decide to do your channel? Okay, Evelyn, you want to take that first?
Sure. My channel actually has existed for a while, long before like I started doing GLP-1 content. Originally, like my thought behind my channel was just to be an extension of a book I wrote, also titled Beautiful I'm Colored. I self-published that book in 2022, and you was trying to use YouTube as kind of like um a marketing strategy, if you will, to kind of, see the author behind the book, etc., while sharing kind of like my podcast as well. And then it kind of evolved from there. Rather than um, spin off and do a whole new YouTube channel that was just about weight loss, I didn't want to do that. I'm like, this is part of my life too. Um, so I just kept my weight loss journey on Beautiful I'm Colored instead of, pivoting off. Plus, to be honest with you, I didn't want to do the extra work of having to monitor another channel and things like that. And so I elected to keep everything housed all in one place. But that's how I got started.
Awesome. And for me, Paula,
What about
mine was
you?
just there. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Evelyn.
Oh, I was just saying, what about you, Paul?
Uh, Mine was created just to show like my interviews that I do, working in members of the media. So that's all mine was. And then when I started my journey, I was like you. I was like, I'm not gonna start another channel, start over. So I just kept that channel and kind of rebranded to Paul on Wheels GLP-1 Streets. And I was like, that's how I did it. So you and I kind of had a similar thing when it came to channels. Like, I'm not doing this again. I am not doing this again. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, I totally get it.
I
Shawnee,
feel that so much. I feel that.
yeah, Shawnee said, I love me some Evelyn, real and authentic all the time. It depends on what space. Absolutely, Evelyn. Every time I've never detected any fakeness from you on any of your content. It's always been real. It's always been connecting. And that's why people connect to you, Evelyn, because it's like it's real. We got the smell test, when somebody's like fawning for the camera and doing all the and all that. I wanna apologize to my man Grant. Grant, I am so sorry. I moved up my live an hour because I have something to do at the top of the hour. So Grant, I am so sorry I stepped on your live today. I had no idea. I would have maybe moved it up later or something, but I'm sorry about that, Grant. But I'm gonna check out you and Christy, what you all did today was amazing, my friend, to allow
Yeah, it
us into
was.
your life and find out your journey. Yeah. Yeah, when Christy started
That was
reading those scriptures, it got me. It got me. It got me. All right, Evelyn, about your book. Here we go.
yes.
They said, "Is your book on Amazon, Evelyn?"
It is not. My book is exclusively available on my website, beautifuliamcolored.com. And the reason why, you didn't ask this part, but I like to add it for anybody who is thinking about self-publishing and doing their own book one day. I elected not to put it on Amazon because, of course, Amazon takes a portion of the proceeds of your sales. And so for me, it didn't make sense to put my book on Amazon, um, and have, some of the proceeds, go away. And honestly, after postage, you're only kind of making a fraction of the cost in terms of book sales too. So I do everything in house. And you can get, if you're interested, a copy of my book on my website if you're so interested.
What made you do a book, Evelyn?
So I have and I gonna be very respectful of time here because I do know you just said that you have to be somewhere at the top of the hour. But in short, I had a series of traumatic experiences that happened to me as a child. As far as I can remember, it goes back to the age of 4. That's the earliest that I can remember. Um, and so it translated into me having some challenging times as an adult. Uh, of course, teen pregnancy, teen parent, teen wife. Um, and I got to a point when I was in about, I would say in my 30s after my grandfather died, that I just, a piece of me was just breaking a little bit, and I needed to get to the root cause of the why of it all. And one of my grandmothers advised me when I was growing up and going through some things that one of the best ways to get things out when you can't talk about things is to write it down. And so journaling became like a habit for me. And so I decided to put it in a book because I had reached a point in my healing process and in my healing journey where I wanted to get this stuff out of me, to be honest with you. I didn't want to continue to carry um, the heaviness that I was experiencing. And so I share true stories. It's about 20 of them in my book. Real true stories that some of which includes Marlon, some just me, some of some traumatic things that I went through as a child. And again, with that objective of bringing hope and healing while I'm transparent, with the reader. And so my book also serves as a journal. So at the end of each story, it has writing prompt and pages that you can write to try to get for therapy, therapeutic reasons, because writing was so beneficial for me. Growing up.
Evelyn, I may regret this because something tells me when somebody puts you on the spot that you will put them in a place. But I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot my shot and let the I'll let the cards fall where they may. So Evelyn,
Oh my God.
I do a entertainment show for the ABC affiliate that I work for, and we interview authors sometime. And I would love to interview you more about your book on that platform to just talk about that book. 'Cause I think it's incredible, and you can shoot me down if you don't want to be on there. But I would love to delve deeper to my audience locally here in Southern California about that book because I'm really intrigued. And you got someone who just bought it. Bam, King Darium
You.
said
Thank you,
purchase.
Darium.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thank
Y'all
you.
make sure let's purchase Evelyn's book.
And I got the notification right away, so it'll be in the mail tomorrow, Darium. And thank you. There has been multiple people in the community who have purchased my book, and I do not take it lightly at all. It is absolutely, I would say you'll get to know why I click the way that I do. There's a reason. There are reasons why I want to allow myself to do and say certain things. And I think the book unpacks that.
I love that. So you down?
And thank you for the opportunity. I knew you was about to come back. I knew you was about to come back with it. You know what? Real talk.
Mhm.
Let me think on it. I absolutely am
Yes.
not saying no, but let me think on it. Only because of some of the topics that I touch on in the book. I want to make sure that when I say yes, I'm giving you a full yes. Um,
Absolutely.
because my book really is like ministry for me. And so let me think about it and pray about it,
Okay.
and I will get back to you by the end of this weekend.
Okay.
I will.
I appreciate it.
And thank you for inviting me.
Oh, no worries. And no pressure either, Evelyn. I want you to feel comfortable with it. If you feel like it, then we will. And even if it's like a no now, maybe it's like a not yet. We can revisit this months down the line and do it. So whenever you are prepared to do it, it's always an open invitation. And so it's there for you. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Grant says, I want to say so much. I appreciate Evelyn. Her openness and support has really helped me a lot. Yeah, Evelyn, I want to co-sign on what Grant
Pleasure.
said. Yeah, I mean you there, Evelyn.
My
I mean you're
pleasure.
there. You're there. All right, G's in the house. G's, I talked about your content
Hey,
creator
G.
influencer. I talked about that, G's. G's, when you and I get together, we're gonna hit that even more, G's. So yeah. All right. How do I buy the book, T? You want to get that website out again, Evelyn?
Yeah, sure. It's beautifuliamcolored.com.
Awesome. All
And
right,
thank you,
Evelyn.
thank you. I can see the notifications coming in over my phone. So thank you.
Hey, Evelyn, I got you. I got you. You know, something about you that resonates with me, and I'm here to support you. So whatever I can do, you know, I got you. I got you. We good. All right, Evelyn. I remember watching one
I
of your
really
videos. Oh, no worries. One of your videos a while back when you read excerpts from your book. I think you said that you would read some more of it to
mhm,
us. Do you still plan on doing that?
mhm. First of all, great observation, Cookie. And second, I'm not sure. And here's why I'm not sure, just in full transparency. There are a couple of stories in my book that are very hard still for me. Um, and when I'm talking about things that I know for a fact I'm touching very sensitive areas on in other people's lives, I need to ensure that I'm in the right space. So some of you will know this. When I get into my flow state and I'm getting messages from here about what to say, I have to be certain that it's not me and that it's God through me that's working. And so one of the reasons why I stopped sharing the stories of my book is because if I feel a hesitation that I'm not, you know what I'm saying, fully dialed in to source, which I call God, then I don't want to do it because people's lives are out here. You know what I'm saying? And some of the stuff I share can be triggering to traumatic experiences for people. And so I don't take that lightly at all. I don't take people lightly. And so that's the reason why I paused on sharing the stories. Um, I do think there will come a time where there will be a yes, a resounding yes, but I need to get confirmation, honestly, in my quiet time and in my prayer time that that's the road that I need to go down before I can say that's something that I'll do. But yes, Cookie, you're absolutely right, and I appreciate your question.
I appreciate that, Evelyn. Thank you for your openness too. It wasn't on my bingo card to talk about your book, but I'm glad you brought it up because I think it's a great
Mine
great
either.
discussion. It's a great discussion, you know, about just about you, Evelyn, and everyone in the chat. Doesn't Evelyn have one of the most amazing smiles you've ever seen? I mean, whenever she smiles, it makes me smile. So everyone,
Oh,
let's show Evelyn some love out there. She's an amazing person. And Evelyn, thank you so much for allowing me. I really appreciate your openness. I really appreciate Evelyn. You are a person who knows exactly who they are, what they want to say, and doesn't dance around it. And I am here for it because the more people we have like that, just in life in general, not at these GLP-1 streets, but life in general, it just makes life a lot better when you have a person who is just completely honest with you, will tell you things, will not go along with the status quo, but say what's on her mind, have conviction, and also do it with love. Evelyn, you are beautiful. Thank you so much. Anything else out there you'd like to tell the chat out there because they loving you, Evelyn? Any last words?
I just want to say thank you. My heart is really full. I definitely see the notifications, like I said, on my phone. So thank you to everyone who's purchased the book. I'll print out labels and get tonight and get those packed up for you and signed and sent off in tomorrow's mail. So thank you for that. Um, I think the only thing that is on my heart to share right now, Paul, is just there's nobody but you. I think sometimes, it's it's kind of hard, especially when you're a content creator. It can get a little bit competitive and a little bit this and that. But I hope you all realize that there is only one you. Nobody has that seat on the face of this earth. And I hope that you take everything that you have been gifted with, and by that I mean the good, the bad, the ugly, and you serve out your purpose and you do it well. That's what I wish for everyone tonight. And Paul, thank you so much for this incredible opportunity. I enjoyed myself so much and appreciate the great work that you're doing by elevating the voices of some of us smaller channels. So thank you so much.
Well, Evelyn, I come from the streets of reach one, teach one. And like you, I'm a person of faith. Acts 10:34. No, not Acts 10:34. That's God's not partial. But more happiness in giving than receiving. That's what I'm living by. I was once a selfish person. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about things, because I'm not selfish. I'm giving of myself. And sometimes when people don't receive that, it hurts a little bit, because in my mind, I'm like, can't you see how much I care about you to help you? I want you to do the same thing for me. So I'm still learning myself in this space to not take it personal when ones don't want to hear it. Because like the Apostle Paul said, he said, I am free from the blood of all men, even though not everybody listened to him. As long as we, speak our truth, speak our conviction, and we let it just go as it may. But like you said, do it with love. And I've taken a lot from you, Evelyn. You have given me a therapy session. I'm just letting you know that. Thank you. The check is in the mail. I just want you to know that. So thank you for my therapy session. I really need this. Okay, last question, Evelyn, from Cookie J. Who can turn the world on her smile? Evelyn and Mary Tyler Moore. Absolutely. Go through these other comments. So thank you all again, Evelyn. I'm gonna have you stay on because we're gonna go off to the song, and as we go off to the song, we're going to look at the the comments and everything, and have some fun with it. Okay. Now, if you missed the song I did for Evelyn, make sure you got to check it out.
Okay.
Now, you know what? I think I'm gonna play it right now. Okay, this is a song that I did for Evelyn because she didn't make it into the remix, but I did something for her. So here it goes, and Evelyn and I. So Evelyn, I'm gonna put it in split screen so we can play the song and all that other stuff. So let me do this, Evelyn. Let me add this. This is Evelyn's song right here. So let me find it. Okay, I'm going through my hard drive right now. So yeah. I'm unprepared, but I want y'all to hear this because especially after this interview, it encapsulates Evelyn. So let me go over here. All right, Evelyn. Okay, so here it goes. Here's Evelyn's song right here. Let me throw it in the hopper, the media. Here it goes.
Yeah. Oh, Evelyn, you're beautiful. Let's go. She done came through the fire, didn't break, got stronger. Young mama, real fighter, had to hold on longer. Life tried to weigh her down, she still stood tall. Now she leveling up and she shocking them all. Mind on growth and her body on change. New discipline, new goals, she ain't playing no game. From the pain to purpose, now she moving sweet. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ. Look at her now, yeah, she glowing for real. Turned all the pressure into power and will. Ain't just surviving, now she claiming her peace. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 STREETZ. Oh, Evelyn, you're beautiful. More than what the mirror shows. You've been Got that drive and the sky's the limit now. This that lifestyle, this that focus, this that put in work vibe. Power moves, weight loss journey, watch her come alive. Echo V journey, living heavy, building more than a frame. She transforming from the inside, never staying the same. Book the podcast, living proof when she speaks that truth. Hoping healing in a message every time she hit the booth. She inspiring with a story every time she hit the beat. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 Street. Beautiful, I am color, that's the heart of the mission. Giving hope to the broken, helping people see vision. If you've been through the storm, she got something to teach. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 Streets. Evelyn, you're beautiful. More than what the mirror shows. You've been healing, you've been growing. Now the whole world really knows. Evelyn, you're beautiful. Strong in mind and powerful. Got that fire, got that drive, and the sky's the limit now. And the sky's the limit now. She worked hard, stayed down, now she rising with peace. And she making waves in DEEZ GLP-1 Streets. From her mind to her body, now her light runs deep. And she making waves in DEEZ, making waves in DEEZ. Y'all ready?
My microphone. Evelyn, thank you so much. You are amazing. You are beautiful. And thank you for letting us spend some time. And thank Marlon, too. Thank Marlon for allowing us to stay for a couple hours a night. Tell him he and I and RMZ, we got to get together and do a live about some hip hop. So we'll have some fun. But thank you, Evelyn. Bye, everyone. We love you all to life. Until next time, stay healthy, stay safe. Love you all to life. Take care, everyone.